What is going on, friends? I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Thank you for joining us here on Sports from the Couch. And I wanted to get into some of this news, some of these rumors, some of these murmurs we've been hearing around the Chicago Bears with the name Nick Chubb. That is right, the superstar running back from the Cleveland Browns, now a free agent. And a lot of Bears fans are wondering if Chicago might be the destination home for number 24. And we're going to get into that in just 1 second. But if you are interested in more Bears talk, check out the other show I'm a part of, Bear Era Podcast, brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network. It's myself, Mike Mercado, Kieran Hall from the Irish Bears Show, and EJ Snyder from Bootleg Football break down everything surrounding the Chicago Bears offseason, during the season, hopefully a postseason. And we have some of the best guests around the nation. You've seen them on ESPN, CBS, here locally on 670 The Score, and across the entire sports media world. So make sure you guys are giving us a follow over there on YouTube at Bear Era Pod. And you can check me out here locally in Chicago every Sunday night on WCPT 820 AM, WSBC 1240 AM, and HeartlandSignal.com. It is the Sports Cubicle, where we break down all the major news surrounding the Chicago sports market. So make sure you guys are following there as well. And if you're following us here on YouTube, you can check it out. We are on baby countdown, folks. The Mercado Airwaves studio is now the baby's room. If you watch the live draft watch along, you got to see it out in action. So that is right. You're going to see Papa Mike for the next few weeks until I go on baby leave. And there's no way I was not going to talk about this story. And that is obviously Nick Chubb, rumored to be with the Chicago Bears. Now, for all of you who don't know, Nick Chubb did suffer a major injury now 2 years ago, came back last year, and it took a little time, but it seemed like the explosiveness is still there. Going to be 30 this year on December 27, 2025, will be a 30-year-old running back. But obviously, a move like this would not be a major, crazy contract. It'll be a year or two. It'll be something that would be a prove it almost for him. Another contract in the NFL for him and for the Bears, which is more importantly why you're watching, why you're listening. What does it mean for the Chicago Bears? How could it impact the Chicago Bears? Would it be a good fit? So I think the big picture to start off with is a team that already has Roschon Johnson, that already has DeAndre Swift, that is going to bring in running backs late in the draft and during unrestricted free agents, right? This is a franchise that is now being led by Ben Johnson. And to put into context, when Ben Johnson was the offensive coordinator from Detroit, he had Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, which then became Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. And there was a factor in between where the DeAndre Swift and Jahmyr Gibbs crossover happened. So this is a head coach with a scheme that likes to have two types of running backs that do two different things. He wants somebody that's going to be explosive, that's going to be elusive, that's going to be a safety net for his quarterback to drop the ball in a screen or when a play breaks down. He's also looking for someone that's going to bring power, who's going to bring domination, who's going to attack the line, who's going to hurt the defense. And if you look at what this Bears roster looks like, they can use a Nick Chubb. I think DeAndre Swift is a good running back, but I don't think he does anything great. He doesn't hit the hole great. He doesn't make a cut great. As good of a running back as he has, as much money as he's going to make in the National Football League playing the position, we're talking within the margins, right? The little bit percentages that make a 2-yard gain, a 3-yard gain into a first down, into a 20-yard play, into taking it to the house. So you look at just roster construction, a team that has revamped its offensive line, that wants an identity to set you up for the RPO or any type of play action, any type of movement that makes you have to stay honest with the offense. Nick Chubb or any type of running back on the J.K. Dobbins, Kenneth Walker, you name your favorite running back that's a veteran that has a contract that might get cut during the summer, that is currently without a team, makes sense for this Bears team if it's a powerhouse running back. Because let's talk about it. A team that revamped its offensive line, A team that is going to want to out-physical you, out-skill you, outscore you needs all that. Needs to have a line that can be trusted to keep its quarterback upright. Needs to be able to give its quarterback enough time so that he can allow his skill players to get open, to run the proper routes. And then including the running back that needs to be patient while attacking the holes, the lanes, and the line themselves. That is what this offense needs. And if you look at how they're building it, that is the direction they're going in. You have 2 tight ends now with Loveland and Cole Kmet, an entire new offensive line. You've brought in offensive linemen during the NFL draft, including spending big money on it. You have already 2 established running backs on your roster. You've brought in young rookies now. Now is the time, though, to spend a couple dollars on a sure-handed, trusted veteran running back. Because fact of the matter is this. While we are excited for Ben Johnson, while we may believe that the man behind the creativeness of the Detroit Lions offense over the last few years will be able to translate it to the Chicago Bears. But the best way to guarantee that is by making sure you have as much talent as possible on your roster. And I believe a name like Nick Chubb is exactly what the doctor ordered. Just look at these numbers, for example. In 85 games, which 78 he started, he's attempted 1,340 rushes for a total of 6,843 yards, 51 touchdowns, 320 first downs. Now let's look at receiving, because if you're going to be in a Ben Johnson offense, you have to be able to catch the ball. So if you're looking at his receiving at 173 targets, he's caught the ball 128 times for 1,042 yards, 5 touchdowns, 49 first yards. This is somebody who's going to make the big play. This is somebody who I do still believe has gas in the tank. Are you going to get the Nick Chubb of old who's going to put up 1,000+ yards and a double-digit touchdown season? I don't think so. But being able to rotate 3 starting running backs in the National Football League, being able to have that type of depth is something not a lot of teams will be able to afford. And you already have it in your roster, and it will just cost you a little bit of money. I'm using Nick Chubb as the example because I think all of us believe that seems to be the big name running back that the Bears have been linked to. But there's some other ones, including J.K. Dobbins. But it's, again, if you play fantasy football, if you do over-unders on DraftKings, BetRivers, any of FanDuel, any of these other places, right? You know guys who just seem to make the big play in real life, but maybe not necessarily on the stat sheets or on your fantasy team or on your pick six, whatever. That's who a J.K. Dobbins is. He'll have a big game for sure, but he's also somebody who gets, if you need 5 yards, he'll get you 6. If you need him to catch 7 yards, he'll catch for 8. Nick Chubb is somebody like that too. 3rd and 3 on the 17-yard line and you need a first down, Nick Chubb will get it for you. He'll get 3.5 yards, 4 yards, whatever you need to get the first down. And while we're breaking this all down, whether or not the Chicago Bears should go after Nick Chubb or J.K. Dobbins, another veteran running back to add to this roster here on Sports from the Couch, I'm your host, Mike Mercado. I think it's very important to also put on the table, this is still development for Caleb Williams. While they got him a bunch of weapons, while we know he needs to take a step forward in his sophomore season, it's still his sophomore season on a brand new offense with the highly touted offensive coordinator, now your new head coach. You still need to develop him. You still need to get the best out of him. It is still on this coaching staff to utilize having a talented quarterback on a rookie deal to try to put yourself in the best position to get over 500, have a winning record against your division, beating the Packers, winning the NFC North, and be a playoff team. That all starts with developing your quarterback. The front office and Ben Johnson have done a good job on paper revamping that offensive line to try to protect Caleb. And they've put its own pressure on Caleb because they've gotten him a lot of offensive weapons. And if you add a Nick Chubb, that's another thing to that column, which is a good thing. Pressure makes diamonds. And if we believe Caleb is all the carrots in the world, then this is a good thing. Have him have that pressure by giving him as much talent as possible so that there is no excuse. As much talent surrounded by good coaching takes away any excuse anybody has in this franchise, all the way from ownership to the front office to the coaching staff to your now sophomore star quarterback in Caleb Williams. Bringing in Nick Chubb can be that missing piece to really solidify this entire project in this new era for the Chicago Bears. But we want to know your thoughts. Should they go after Nick Chubb? Is there another veteran running back that you have your eye on that you want to see come to Chicago? Make sure you leave a comment down below. Please subscribe to us here on YouTube at the Sports Cubicle, or search where we get your favorite podcast at Sports from the Couch. And make sure you guys are checking us out over on the Sports Cubicle every Sunday night here in Chicago. Sunday nights, 9 p.m. on WCPT 820 a.m. and WSBC 1240 a.m. And if you want more Bear stuff, check us out over at Bear Era Pod. It's myself, Mike Mercado, Kieran Hall from the Irish Bear Show, and E.J. Snyder from Bootleg Football, bringing you the best Bears content in the Bears Nation. Please take care of yourself and take care of each other. We will see you next time here on Sports from the Couch. I'm your host, Mike Mercado.